Good morning, everybody. Hello there. Welcome to 1 Samuel chapter 8, and this was an awesome little read this morning, and it definitely helped me realize a few things. But in short, we see what Israel do is Israel demands that God give them a king. You see, God is the one who is leading them through his judge. Right now, it's Samuel. And God is the one leading them and protecting them and all of this. And Israel decides that, well, they don't want it anymore. Israel decides that they want a king. They want a man to lead them instead of God. And so God grants them their wish. God grants them their wish. And we'll see soon, probably tomorrow, where Saul is chosen as king. But God gives them a warning through Samuel. Gives them a warning and says, hey, listen, this is what your king is going to do. He's going to take things from you. He's going to take your sons. He's going to take your daughters. He's going to take your livestock. He's going to take some of your choice land. He's going to take a portion of everything of yours. This is going to cost you. And they say, we don't care. We want to do it. And you know, I look at that and I put it into today's day, and how would that relate to our lives right now? How would that little story relate to our lives right now? Life application, if you will. Well, to me, it would be that we are wanting to be like the world. You see, God has called these Israelites. He has called this nation of Israel to be different. You see, every other nation has a king and has somebody ruling over them, who they say protects them. And if you look in verse 20, it says that we may also be like the other nations, that we have a king to judge us and to go before us and fight our battles. And that be like all nations really is what struck me. And they didn't want to be different. They wanted to be like everybody else. And you know, for us as Christians living in this world, I mean, we are called to be different. I mean, even in the church, we are not all called to be cookie cutter and be the same people. We're all called to strive to be more like Christ. But we're not all called to have the same gifts. We're not all called to do the same job. And we're not all called to just be like everybody else. Each one of us, you have your own special giftings. You have your own special personality that God has handcrafted and chosen just for you because He has a plan and a purpose. Now, I don't want to be like everybody else. I don't want to be like the world. God has called us to live outside of the world. When you look and you see the word church, it means ecclesia, which is two words, ekklesia. Okay, which means an assembly of called out ones. We are an assembly of people who are called out from the world to be different. You see, the world repays evil for evil. The world thinks an eye for an eye. You see, we're called to repay good for evil. We're called to repay love for evil. We're called to repay love for an eye. And the world doesn't do that. The world is worried about money. The world is worried about fortune and fame and all of these great things. Yet, as the great song goes, you are famous in your Father's eyes. You already are. Isn't that good enough? Isn't it good enough that the God who made the universe, the God who hand-formed you, loves you? And His word says He will never leave you. He will never forsake you. The God of the universe loves you so much that while you were still a sinner, while you still hated Him, He came and died for you. That is Jesus Christ. Isn't that worth something? That you should be different. As Jeremiah 29:11 says, yes, He has a plan and a purpose for you. And that plan and a purpose is not to be like the rest of the world. It's to love him. It's to chase him. It's to let him mold you. It's to let him circumcise those parts of your life that should not be there, that are just like the world. It's to use the gifts, these special gifts that he has put inside each and every one of us. We all have at least one gift that he has put in there that he will use for his purpose. I look at all of these actors and actresses and singers who have tremendous gifts. And what do they use it for? Majority of them use it for their own fortunes, not to give God glory. Well, I ask you, in your gifts, what do you do? Is God good enough for you? Have a super day, guys. I love you all.